Tom Cotton of Arkansas joining us now. Senator, welcome. Thank you for being here. You know, I was waiting for that image to pop up because it is powerful, Senator, when you see, first of all, the video that we brought our viewers yesterday of those girls being dropped over the fence. And now we can report that we are told Border Patrol says that they're doing just fine. They are in the safety of the walls of the protection of Border Patrol now, getting a snack there. But that horrific image, it stays with you, Senator. I mean, when we look at what is happening at the border, we report hour by hour, it is getting worse. Your thoughts as we kick off the new hour here?
Yeah, it's shocking imagery to see little girls dropped from a fence like that. Those girls don't belong at our border. They belong with their families in their home country. The reason why we're seeing the Biden border crisis is because Joe Biden said to the world, if you're a kid or a teenager, or you purport to be a teenager, or you show up with a kid, we will let you into our country. What did he expect would happen? Well, what's happened is that we've seen a 5-fold increase in the month of March this year from where we were last year in the number of migrants showing up at our border. I was there last week. Not a single one with whom I spoke said they were claiming asylum because of persecution on the basis of religion or race or ethnicity or political views. Yeah. They were coming for a better job.
Senator,
that's not basis for asylum in our laws.
Your Republican colleague Ted Cruz joined us on this program yesterday, and what he said really stuck out to me. When we are looking to see what this administration does next about this, we know Kamala Harris has plans to visit some of those home countries to address the root of the problem, why these people want to come here in the first place. But there's a crisis at the border today. We asked Ted Cruz, what are they going to do about it? He said this. I don't have the sound apparently at this moment, but Ted Cruz says that they cannot fix it. He said because of their ideologies, they won't be able to fix this. They caused the problem, he said, and now knowing that the problem exists, their ideologies will prevent them from doing anything about it. Just wanted to get your response to that.
Well, I think Democrats are beholden to a left-wing ideology that implies that borders aren't legitimate and anyone who wants to enforce a border is immoral. But there's nothing virtuous or moral about inducing hundreds of thousands of migrants to make the journey, sometimes very dangerous to our country, even when they don't have a legal right to be here. Look, Joe Biden could solve this problem tomorrow if he wanted. First, he could reinstate the pandemic order that said we exclude all persons, to include minors. Second, he could say if you get to our border and you have a claim of asylum, you have to stay in Mexico to raise that claim. And third, if you cross into another country, like say Guatemala, you have to raise your asylum claim in that country before you get to our country. Those three things alone would solve this border crisis. But there are too many Democrats who don't believe in borders and don't think this is a crisis because they think we should be open to the entire world.
Here's Ted Cruz. Listen.
They can't fix it. Consistent with the problems they've made, their radical left-wing base. You know, today AOC is tweeting the answer to this is abolish ICE. Just shut down ICE altogether and have open borders. That's the answer of the crazy left. And it's why Biden and Kamala are trapped, because there is no solution that stops this wave of humanity, this suffering, as long as they take their marching orders from the radical left.
Want to make sure we got him in his own words there. Want to move on to what's happening in the wake of this new Georgia law, the reaction that we've seen specifically from some of these privately held companies. And Senator Cotton, you talk about China a lot. You've got corporations like Delta speaking out, Coca-Cola speaking out against this as backing this whole woke culture as some sort of racist law that is being enacted in the state of Georgia. I mean, look, the list is growing. Yet you're talking about many businesses that continue to do business with China and don't talk out or denounce what is happening in that country, Senator Cotton. What is happening here? What is happening with some of these U.S. corporations?
Well, a lot of these ill-informed and politically correct CEOs are dancing to the tune of those that scare them. The Chinese Communist Party scares them. They're afraid they'll cut off business, so they'll do whatever China says, like changing the name of Taiwan on their drop-down menus on their website. They're scared of the Biden administration, they're scared of the far left to boycott their businesses. So even though they have lots of Republicans who fly on their planes, lots of Republicans who work for them, they're willing to condemn Republican lawmakers and Republican voters in Georgia for passing a law that, by the way, expands voting access in many regards to a greater extent than, say, Delaware, Joe Biden's home state, or New York or California, very Democratic states. That's because they're afraid that they'll lose business. Well, maybe Republicans and conservatives should start sending the same message and see if these same ill-informed CEOs are going to vote with their shareholders' pocketbook in that case.
It seemed to me you even took it a step further, Senator Cotton, when you in a tweet said the CEO folded under pressure and smeared the state of Georgia with lies about Georgia's election bill. I believe you were speaking directly about the Delta CEO in this case. If that is the case, should there be some sort of accountability with these chief executives, knowing even the Washington Post for Pinocchios for the way Biden has spread misinformation on this election law? Should these corporate CEOs be held accountable for spreading this misinformation?
Yeah, you know, when the Washington Post, of all places, gives Joe Biden 4 Pinocchios, you know it must be bad, because the Georgia law has been the target of lies and smears. In many ways, expands voting access. In many ways, it's better than Democratic states. And Ed Bastian, the Delta CEO, smeared Georgia, smeared its voters and its lawmakers without adducing a single fact, without making a single argument about this Georgia law. Now, I can tell you that a lot of these CEOs are now running to Republicans in Washington, pleading with us to stop tax increases on them or to stop the Biden administration from regulating them out of existence. I bet they're not going to find very many welcome audiences when they're attacking our voters and attacking our lawmakers at the state level.
All really important stuff. Senator Tom Cotton, always good to have you on. Thank you.
Thank you.
John?